So first up is user education. This is in the user perception category of gameplays. And the way I like to think about this is there's almost always an opportunity to make the people who you interact with, your users, your beneficiaries, even your vendors sometimes, make them smarter, help them understand what's going on, and help them be more intelligent about the situation that you're in. And what's kind of interesting about this is that it represents kind of an investment into their knowledge, and usually for some kind of benefit that you can imagine. So by making them smarter, they do something that benefits you as well. And depending on where the thing is that you are educating them about, where that is in its journey in market evolution, you can actually change what kind of education usually makes sense. So for example, if you're in Genesis, probably people don't even know what the thing is or why anyone should care about it. So when you're starting with something that's completely new, that's never been seen before, you have to start from zero and say, okay, what could I offer? What could I help them understand that helps them appreciate what's so cool about it, why it's full of wonder, what it could eventually lead to? Just like, what is it even? Answer that question. So that's the kind of like, if there were blog post titles, it's like, what is blank? And then as you kind of move forward in your evolution, you move more to the right. What we tend to see is that language changes, that kind of education changes. So instead of talking to people about what the thing is, you're starting to tell them how to make one, how it works, and how to start to explore getting a return on investment. What kind of advantage it provides as things continue to evolve and you get more into the product, like stage 3 space. Now it's, relatively accepted as a kind of activity. And so your education has to change again. Maybe you're doing feature comparisons. Maybe you're helping people understand why yours is better than someone else's or what the relative trade-offs are. It tends to shift more towards operations, like how to use it, how to get the most benefit out of it. So it's something that more and more people are doing. And so that education has a lot to do with, features, maintenance, alternatives, things like that. And then over here is kind of a weird one. So when things shift into commodity, education tends to change because the thing itself, whatever it is, tends to start being more invisible. It tends to be sort of an assumption in our daily lives. And so we stop being able to see it. So sometimes I think of education in this space as helping us understand that we're taking it for granted and highlighting how much we rely on it, how many things are built on top of it, how important it is to holding up society or whatever it is that the system is, whatever parts of the system are depending on it. So what you do in terms of education changes as whatever activity or practice or data or knowledge you were educating about as that changes in its evolution. And then, of course, we've got our questions here. If you're looking at a map and you've got different parts that you're interested in, and let's say you get some users up here and they depend on something down here, and then there's some weird thing, some custom built thing that enables them to get the value that they want, right? So this is the value, and this is some dependency that they don't even appreciate or understand. So you can imagine going through your map and saying, okay, where could an education play be beneficial? Where could our users, our beneficiaries understanding parts of the system better help us either in setting their expectations differently or helping them make better choices about what they might do as a result of knowing that information. So you might say, is there a user education play here? Is there a user education we could play we could use here? And then comparing the relative consequences of those two locations, like what would happen if they were smarter over here? Like, oh, well, they might choose our product over our competitors, or they might find out the ways that our product is actually worse than everyone else's. Or for this custom thing, good consequences might be they understand more of the technical kind of underpinnings of how this thing works and why it fails sometimes and why that's okay, or why it's a hard problem, so that their expectations change and become more in line with what we can provide. At the same time, they might be like, oh, this is garbage because it fails all the time. So there's how it might backfire. There's the upside of helping them And I like to think about the world working with smarter people that understand the situation better, what kind of world that could look like. And as you can imagine, it's a lot different when you're working with a user or a beneficiary that you consider a partner, someone who understands what you understand and will work with you and will come up with ideas and collaborate. And it opens up this whole set of interesting possibilities that I think we just miss. And again, think of education as a chance to influence for the better by making someone smarter, someone that you care about.